readers, it's Shed Time Stories with me, Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? I have chosen one from the wonderful book series, The 9 Cats. The title is The 9 Cats in the Glen. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The authors, the people who have written this story, are Callum Johnston and Linda Johnston, and the illustrator, the person who has drawn all the pictures, is Jacqueline T. Now the 9 cats are up in Pitlochry and they're watching the fish jumping, who also pop up to say hello. But something else happens in this story. Shall we read and find out? The 9 Cats in the Glen. Once upon a time, there were 9 cats. Poppy, Molly, Daisy, Millie, Milo, Monty, Charlotte, Stella and Tiger. The cats were enjoying an autumn day out in a lovely Scottish town called Pitlochry. They were standing on the grass, looking in awe at a large amount of water pouring into a river. "Wow," said Tiger. "Look at all that water spilling over. It looks like watery clouds," he said in amazement. Just then, they saw fish leaping out and over the water and back in, before coming out to leap again. They had a silvery shine, and they were having so much fun leaping around. "Hello there," called Stella. "That looks fun." A few of them stopped and looked over, startled. "Why, hello! We live in this river and we just love doing this. We get lots of people stopping to watch us," replied one of the fish. As they stood observing the fantastic display, Stella noticed movement at the corner of her eye. She turned round to see what had caught her attention. "Shh," she said to everyone. "Look what's here." The cats turned round slowly and saw 2 timid-looking animals wandering over the grass. "Those are deer," whispered Monty. "I've seen them on the television." The deer looked at the cats and slowly walked forward. There was an adult roe and a baby fawn. Tiger stepped forward and exclaimed, "You look so cute," to the baby deer. The roe laughed and said, "So do you," and continued to say to all the cats, "We live in the woods around here. I haven't seen you before." "We don't live here. We're only visiting today," replied Daisy. "We were watching the waterfall. It looks amazing," added Monty. "Yes, it can look spectacular, but you must be careful," said the deer. Suddenly, there was a shriek and Tiger shouted, "Help!" Everyone turned round and saw Tiger at the edge of the grass pointing at the water. The fawn was struggling in the fast-moving current. "My baby!" shouted the deer in alarm. "We were having fun running around the grass and she slid into the water," answered a tearful tiger. Everyone was now at the riverbank, wondering frantically how to get the little deer out of the water. Just then, they heard panting and feet running across the grass. They turned and saw a small dog dashing towards them with a large stick between her jaws. The dog laid the stick down and said, I saw what happened. I'll jump in with my stick to help steer the fawn back towards the edge. They saw splashing in the water then, and a few fish poked their heads up. We can circle around and help guide you both towards the bank. Good plan, barked the dog as she entered the water. This is all so dangerous, said Charlotte, quivering as she watched. Suddenly, bright, colourful lights appeared above them. We've seen these before, exclaimed Milo. Yes, it's the fairies, said Millie. As quick as a flash, their fairy friends appeared. They'd met these fairies before on their outings. Their names were Mary, Alana, Ailsa, Whiff, Angus and Catriona. We're always flying around and we love playing in thistles. We were nearby and we heard all the noise, explained Alana. We need to act fast, added Ailsa. The cat and the roe deer watched as the fairies descended onto the water and gently lifted the fawn and the little dog back to safety and placed them onto the grass. That was scary, panted the dog, trying to catch her breath as she watched the baby cuddling back into her mum. She turned round and looked at the colourful fairies. Hello, my friends, she exclaimed. Hello, Snowy, replied Catriona. You know each other? Asked Molly. Yes, replied Alana. We see Snowy quite a lot when she's out on one of her walks in the glen. I'm so glad you all saw me today, said Snowy. Thank you so much, added the roe. You saved the day. It was no bother at all, replied Angus. We're glad we were nearby. We often come here. It's so beautiful, added Mary. Hey, came a shout from the water. Now that everyone is safe again, let us treat you to a wonderful display, boasted one of the fish. We'd love that, exclaimed Poppy. They all stood and watched as the fish leapt in and out of the water with the sun catching their shiny silvery scales. This is so sparkly, let's join in, said Alana excitedly. With that, all the fairies flew above the fish and threw their magical sparkly glitter dust into the air. Wow! Exclaimed Tiger. This looks amazing! And it did, with the beautiful silver fish leaping out like rainbows from the river and the sparkly fairy dust above them. Just then, a deep voice said, I've been looking for you. Everyone turned to see a magnificent large deer with long, beautiful antlers. He looked so majestic. This is the leader of our herd, explained the roe. We've had an eventful afternoon, she told him, then explained what had happened. The stag thanked everyone for their help, and they all stood and watched the display together. This has been so lovely to watch, but we need to think about heading back, said Monty after a while. If you can spare just a little more time, I can lead you to another spectacular sight, said the stag. Oh, please, everyone, let's just see what he wants to show us, said Milo. Everyone agreed and waved goodbye to the fish. The little group of friends all followed the stag for a short walk. Soon they could hear music in the air. "Where is that coming from?" asked Molly. "Come a little closer here and see," replied the stag. The cats did as he said, and then they saw some woods with a rainbow of lights dancing around the trees to the music. There was a lake in the middle, and they could see colourful images across the water. "This looks enchanting," exclaimed Tiger. "Magical," gasped Molly. "Beautiful," agreed Daisy. "Yes," replied the stag. "This happens every year when the nights start to get dark early." "We're lucky we stay here," said Snowy. "We can watch this over quite a few nights." The friends stood and watched through the trees. The fairies rested on the beautiful antlers of the stag. They looked magical too. After a short while, Monty reminded everyone that they should be heading back to find their humans before it got really dark. They would be waiting on them. The group of friends all reluctantly agreed it was time to head back to their own homes, and so they all said their goodbyes. The fairies accompanied the cats to light their way back in case they got lost in the dark, before heading back to their cosy nests among the thistles. What an exciting and magical story that was! The 9 cats most certainly had an amazing outing in the Glen at Pitlochry. They also got to make some wonderful new friends. The leaping fish, Snowy the dog, the deer and her baby fawn, and not forgetting the majestic stag. They also got to see their friends, the fairies, who, with a little sprinkle of magic dust, were able to help the fawn out of the water. And how lucky they all were to see such a spectacular light show in the woods. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story, and if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you'll be ready for the next book we can share together. Bye-bye!